In today's video, I'm going to be breaking down Brez Scales' entire funnel, how he's able to make $1 million per month at 20 years old. And just as a hint, it's not from freelance brand scaling, which is what he's coaching on. So as you can see, there's a screenshot of him, of his growth operator, showing off his $1 million month. Now, if you're an offer owner, you sell some sort of digital information, you're a coach, you can definitely implement 2 or 3 or even 5 things from this funnel breakdown into your own offer. And I do believe you'll get a lot of value from this video. And if you're a growth operator, meaning that you're the person that works behind all these offers and you kind of operate their whole systems, their sales teams, then this will also give you a lot of insight on how Brez runs his full sales teams, his content strategy, basically how he attracts attention, how he nurtures that attention, and also how he converts that attention with his 3-day webinar funnel. Okay, and then we're also going to go over his thank you pages, his WhatsApp groups, his sales process, how he tracks, and also his team behind it. Okay, so first of all, let's start with top of funnel. Okay, we have, if you guys don't know, top of funnel, middle of funnel, and then bottom of funnel. Top of funnel is basically when people are just cold. They don't know who you are. And in your top of funnel content, all you're trying to do is attract eyeballs. You're trying to attract attention, as you can see. So how does Brez attract attention? So number one, the main platform he does that is through Instagram and TikTok. Okay, these are great platforms to just generally attract people to get to know you, because number one, if people don't know who you are as a content creator or as a coach, they cannot buy from you if they don't know who you are. So let's get that attention. He does so through posting 3 types of content. First of all, it's viral content. Second is authentic content. And the third is lifestyle-based content. So starting off with viral content, you can see, like, if you look at Brez's page, like, most of his content is just brain rot. Like, it doesn't like specifically give you value if you watch it, but you definitely feel entertained, if that makes sense, right? So there's a lot of brain rot content, meaning, you know, he's just having fun with his friends, his TJR. And this is perfect. This is perfect for his audience. And you guys know what his audience is, right? Because you guys can even see in his 3-day webinar, it literally says it. Doom scrollers, chronic doom scrollers, age of 20, right? So that is literally his audience, men in their 20s that are scrolling on their phones. So this type of content is perfect to get the eyeballs that he needs to eventually move down the funnel, right? From top of funnel to bottom of funnel, so that people can eventually convert, because now he just wants to get attention. Second type of content is authentic based content, or just straight up vibes. What I mean by this, so this is an example. It's perfect at portraying that. It says Brez lip syncing to a rap song in his GT3RS holding a matcha. And like, this is his character. By posting like all these authentic kind of content, he's really showing off his true personality and his own character. And a lot of people appreciate that, because in this day and age, like in 2025, people just, yeah, they don't want to be sold to. Like at this point, there's so much, there's a lack of trust. There's a trust recession in this info product space, because everyone's trying to sell you. There are a lot of scams. Skepticism is at an all-time high. So what people buy into right now is just you as a person. So Brez really does a good job at just showing off himself, his personality, his character, genuinely showing people that he's a person and he's not like a bot, and he's not just trying to sell courses every other reel, which a lot of people do nowadays. Okay, so this does build a lot of trust, and people, it builds a lot of like as well. Okay, and I want to introduce this concept as well. In order for people to actually turn into paying clients, you need people to, number one, know you, you need people to like you, and you need people to trust you. Okay, all these 3 types of content mainly focuses on know and like. We'll talk about trust later. It's really interesting. So yeah, this really just builds people to like him as a person. Okay, see him as a person, and he's super relatable. Like, even all the terms he uses in his reels and his vlogs on his YouTube, super relatable to brain rot and super relatable to a 20-year-old doom scroller. So the last type of content is lifestyle based content. So with lifestyle based content, it really builds a lot of and a lot of curiosity. So it builds a lot of know as well. Okay. And he just shows off his lifestyle, his fancy lifestyle that he lives. For example, right here, he's showing off a $30,000 Cartier skeleton watch that one of his best friends gave him. And he does a lot of lifestyle content, just showing off his cars, his private jets, you know, just some car meets with his other rich friends that he has. Like, he's not selling the dream life, but he kind of is. He's showing off how much money he has. And yeah, just generally, if you don't know who he is in the first place, then it'll pique a lot of curiosity. You'll probably be like, like, who is this guy? Who is this 20-year-old that's making all this money? And then you're going to be like, okay, what does he actually do? Right? And then your next question would be, okay, how does he actually do it? So that's how he moves you from top of funnel to middle of funnel to bottom of funnel, right? Who is he, right? What does he do? You get warmer by watching more of his content. And then you're like, how do you do it? Okay. And then that's exactly what I'm going to go through in a little bit. So he also has a YouTube channel. Now, YouTube channel is amazing for converting clients and to just build a lot more like and know, and also trust if used correctly. Now, the reason YouTube is so important, like even for general content creators and coaches in 2025, is because people generally won't pay you $2,000 to $5,000 just off of watching your Instagram reels. Like, straight up, they just won't. Okay? Because they don't know you enough. And they don't like you enough, and they don't trust you enough. And there's this rule that I want to introduce to you guys. It's called the 7-11-4 rule. This is a study done by Google. You guys probably know this already if you watch other breakdown videos, but in order for a stranger to turn into a buying customer, they need to watch 7 hours of your content across 11 touch points. 11 touch points as in, okay, there's one text, one email, one phone call, right? For example, across 4 different platforms. This could be X, Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, Facebook, emails, text, okay? That's the 4 different platforms. So YouTube does a great job at fulfilling the first element, which is the 7 hours of watch time. If you're gonna have to post a lot of reels to turn a stranger into a paying customer, just off of reels and short form content, which is nearly impossible. Okay, so Brez does a really great job at posting content, especially long form content. You can see the average time of his vlogs are at least 30 minutes or around 30 minutes. Okay, this is a you know a very long video, and it definitely does build a lot more know and like, and people definitely know him more as a person. Okay, because nowadays people don't buy coaching, people buy coaches. They buy into you, who you are. They want to know, okay, who are you actually, right? And vlog styles based content, which is what he does post a lot, and also lifestyle, as you can see here, lifestyle and flashy content, people just enjoy watching him because they want to just get closer in proximity to you, right? And they want you to be your true self. So he does that really well through YouTube. However, people don't necessarily trust him yet. And I'll tell you guys why. Right now, he's being friend zoned. Like, if you watch all this content, right, he's being friend zoned by his audience. Because people are just like, oh yeah, like he's such a cool guy, whatever. But people don't really see him as an authority. People don't see him as a mentor, someone who can actually make you a lot of money. So what does he do? Here, he builds a second YouTube channel called ROAS Brez, which has about 63,000 subscribers with only 15 videos. This is 20% of his main audience. I'm not sure if I have his, yeah, look, it's like 20% of his main audience, which is a lot. And he's so smart in posting a business channel because all he does in his business channel is value based. He's moving all these people who are warm, who are nurtured, who kind of know him and like him already. He's moving them down the funnel, from middle of funnel to bottom of funnel, through more middle of funnel content. So we call this middle of funnel content, which is him showing off his expertise in what he teaches, which is freelance brand scaling, right? Okay, exactly how I'd start. Okay, this exact funnel, answering your most asked question. Oh, this is such a good video, right? He's probably addressing some common objections. The ultimate freelance brand scaling course, almost 30 minutes, beginner's guide. Okay, he's showing off his knowledge, his expertise, so that you can actually trust him as an authority, and he just builds more credibility that he does actually what he preaches. Okay, and another thing, so this is what middle funnel does, and I recommend this for a lot of creators, even for their main channels, because his main channel is just for vlogs. Like, for you guys who are probably not at his level yet, you guys just should have one channel, post top of funnel content and a mix of middle of funnel content. Okay, like both, and then you can post on bottom of funnel as well. Like, do a mixture of both. You don't have to separate it into both channels unless you have a huge audience. So this is what a lot of people do, like Iman Gaji or William Brown, or Charlie Morgan, right? You can see that they all have a business channel that's separate from their main channel. So if you search Iman Gaji business, he has a business channel. If you search Paul Daly, he has a business channel as well. Okay. Now, moving on. So where are we at right now? Top of funnel, we got the attention. Middle of funnel, we nurtured that attention by showing off our expertise and showing that they can trust us. Okay, so now that they know, like, and trust, how do we actually convert all these paying customers who are already nurtured, they're kind of warm, how do we actually convert them now? So Brez, recently, he's never actually done this before, but recently he's hosting a webinar funnel. He used to have a free training funnel, which is basically a short video, a free training framed as a free training, and then people can book in a call. They click on the call, they watch the video, and then they book in a call through Calendly to their closers, and setters dial them, and then the closers would call them up, and then they get money. Okay, this is what their funnel used to be like, but they stopped that funnel to launch a webinar funnel, which I think is doing really well in 2025. So yeah, so we convert them through bottom of funnel converting mechanism through the 3-day webinar funnel. And okay, let me just break this down as well, just a little side note. So on their Instagram and on their TikTok, they pinned this event, this 3-day webinar event as well. And also in their bio, they actually have 2 links. One of them is the webinar that directs them to the webinar. The other one, the second one, is actually directing them to Brez Scales' actual agency, right? Like, he's still showing off that he is still doing what he preaches, and that the proof is in the pudding, right? He's still actively running his agency. Well, probably not. He probably has like a whole 20 team people or 20-person team that's running his agency behind him, while he works on the 2 things that are the most important to him right now, which is content and fulfillment. Fulfillment, he's probably outsourced it to a team, but he's now focused on content. So let's have a breakdown of this 3-day webinar funnel. So what is a webinar funnel? A webinar funnel is basically for him specifically, is basically like a stream, right? A 3-day stream, of him going through freelance brand scaling and how to start and how he makes all this money. And then it's just generally a high ticket, and then they just get pushed to a high ticket sales process. So instead of all year round, and instead of this being evergreen, like just him putting it on his bios, this is only an exclusive 3-day event. So he might run this like 4 times a month, or even maybe twice a month, right? These 3-day events. This builds a lot of hype, okay? And it works really well for his type of audience. So let's break down his webinar landing page first. Steal my 3.4 million skill set that took me from a chronic doom scroller to a multi-millionaire by the age of 20. First of all, identity. He knows exactly who his ICP is, and he knew this because he did market research, right? Just like I would do with any of my clients. Number 1, market research. Know who your audience is, like very in depth, okay? know who your audience is in depth. And for him, it's chronic doom scrollers at the age of 20. And then a very general page, claim your free spot, a lot of CTAs, 3 exact process, bam, bam, bam. And then, so what he has, once you click on this or click on the CTAs, it brings them to this application page. So on this application page, let me see if there's an actual application. Do I show the actual application? Yeah, there we go. So he asks a lot of qualifying questions, financially qualify them, time qualify them if they have the time to actually work on this, and also urgency. Like, why do people actually want to work with them? So these are the type of questions that we qualify them, like with these application forms. And yeah, this is like just an example, right? What's your current income at the moment? You can kind of do this subtly so that we, or even Brez sales teams, know how hot the lead is, which I'm going to touch on later. So yeah, this is his landing page at the bottom. FAQ questions to handle some concerns, handle some objections, and yeah, a lot of CTAs, which is good. So he has a very, very good looking page. Okay. So what's the next steps? The next steps is you book it in. It's just a general VSL, by the way, general sales letter, like 10 minutes long. Book it in, and then you go to a thank you page, right? In this thank you page, it is pretty important because now, you know, they've watched your VSL, they've watched your 10-minute VSL. Now they're kind of bought in, but you actually want them to now show up to the actual webinar. Okay, you see there's like a time, a time countdown here, and then your ticket is almost reserved. Next, join my WhatsApp group. Okay, so what Brez and his team does with the thank you page is they direct you to a WhatsApp group and they send you emails as well. So this is really smart because a lot of people use WhatsApp, and yeah, when people see WhatsApp as, they don't see it as salesy, right? If that makes sense. Like WhatsApp would be like the last place you expect. It's more so for friends and families. So this is really good in the way that they use WhatsApp as like a platform to communicate with you, like, you know, which separates from other offers who use like SMS and only emails. Right? WhatsApp is way more personalized, and yeah, you just don't get that salesy vibe from WhatsApp. So after you click the join the WhatsApp group button, you get, by the way, I funnel hacked this whole thing. So you get into his WhatsApp group, and I do believe he has like hundreds of groups, right? When I joined, it was capped out at 651 members, and then they sent like a text message. They sent like a WhatsApp message. So I believe that every single group was capped at around 650 members. And, you know, just by looking at these stats, there's probably around 130,000 opt-ins for his WhatsApp group. And assuming that 30% of people that went through the thank you page only joined the WhatsApp group, which means there's another 70% of people that didn't join the WhatsApp group. So meaning that there's a total of at least 500,000 opt-ins with this webinar. So I know for a fact this is going to do so well. Okay. And then of course it just sends an email telling them to join the WhatsApp group. So what's next? What's next is the actual webinar. Okay. So this actual webinar, I'm going to break down in more detail in the next couple of days because his event is on the 15th and right now it's only the 10th. So it's 5 days away. So I'm going to do a breakdown of that, and I'm going to have a look at his funnel with his webinar and actually join it. But basically this is how it goes. Okay. Free webinar at XYZ date, join the webinar, the actual webinar. And then this is basically Brez, probably like 10-15 minute webinar of him just breaking down how he made his money, right? What was his point A, like before he discovered freelance brand scaling, and then when he discovered freelance brand scaling, how did his life transform? So now this is his endpoint, his desired state. So he's going to talk about that, right? He's also going to show a lot of pain. He's going to show a lot of desire, and then he's going to show how he actually got there, right? Through this vehicle called freelance brand scaling. So then he's going to pitch people, all these people who are, you know, emotionally bought in the webinar, to book a call with him or his team, his sales team. So Calendly, and then they get sold to a 5K program on Zoom, okay, by his sales team as well. So this is what that sales process would probably look like. his webinar will end, book calls with a closer, okay? But people who didn't book a call with the closers, well, guess what? They're going to get dialed by his setters, right? By his sales teams based on the quality of lead based on the Webby application, right? If you guys remember in the beginning, people had to fill out an application. So based on the application, people who have the most money will get called up first, probably like 10K, 15K, and then down the road. And then, of course, they dial like less with the people who have poor quality leads. So, and yeah, setters would just dial all these leads that didn't book. Speed to lead is very important, right? So they should dial all these leads within like an hour or within 2 hours of all the applications. So I assume they have a very big sales team. And the good thing about this is they got their WhatsApp, right? So they can immediately know, okay, which group are they in? Are they in group 5, group 10, group 20, group 15? And just WhatsApp call them if they don't answer on their normal phones. So they get called every day. And the point of this, of the setters dialing all these leads that didn't book, is to just get them on a book call, right? Get them on a book call with a closer so that they can be sold $5,000, okay? Now, what happens when they do actually book? When the people do book, they get put in a WhatsApp group with the sales team to send pre-call resources, like a pre-call video, right? Just, another sales video to, kind of sell them more and influence them a little bit more to get them closer to the buying stage. So, and then the next process here is just to get them to actually show up to the call, okay? Normal stats for info offers are like 65% plus show up rate. So that's what their team is aiming for, and at least a 30 to 45% close rate. So they have a lot of pre-call reminders through SMS and emails. So 24 hours, 12 hours, 3 hours, 5 minutes. And then they do a lot of pre-call confirmations as well through the setters, the sales team. So a phone call from the setters to make sure that their sets are actually going to show up 24 hours before, and then an hour before, give them a quick call, right? Hey, this is just Chor from Brez Scales team. Just notice that you had a appointment in the next 24 hours, just making sure that you're all good for that. Okay, is there any questions that you have? No? Okay, perfect. If you do, just let me know. You can email me or text me. Sound good? Awesome. See you then. Okay, something like that. And then the actual sales call, they show up to the actual sales call. If they don't show up, you can put them in an email and SMS 7 to 30 day nurture sequence, and have their setters dial them every single day. Dial all these no-show leads. These are all hot leads because, first of all, they are wanting to speak with your closers. They're wanting to speak with Brez's team. And second, you never know, right? They probably just forgot it, or they didn't have the time, and life happens, okay? And then you put them back in the sales call. If they do close, wonderful. They get closed on a 5K group coaching, and they get a course as well from Brez. Now, with all this, it's really important, this whole funnel is good, but if nothing is being tracked, if there's no data being tracked, it's cooked, right? So what Brez Scales team does is they always track all their data, their sales team data, by, okay, how many are booked, how many showed up, how many spots do these closers actually have available, are we utilizing all these spots, how many canceled, how many no-showed, how many we offered, how many deposits, how many closed, and then we can get all these stats, right? The show rates, offer rates, close rates, because if you don't track your data, you cannot scale confidently. You absolutely cannot. And I'm assuming that they're probably going to run some ads too, like paid advertisements. And if you really want to put your money in paid ads, you need to know your numbers 100%, okay? Because you want to scale confidently. You don't want to be confused with your numbers, okay? So that's what Brez Scales team does. And that's what I do with my clients as well, okay? I make sure that all of your numbers are being tracked on trackers, Looker Studios, so that we can scale confidently. Now, last thing is this whole team and his backend. So if you guys don't know, obviously Brez is not taking care of all of this, okay? I can bet you that he is not. All he does is filming content and probably doing some fulfillment as well for his actual coaching. So he's actually coaching people. The rest of this is all done operations wise, systems wise, the trackings, the sales team. It's all managed by someone called Pierre, which is his growth operator, okay? with its growth operator, what he does is, okay, creating the actual offer, right? His coaching offer, what that looks like, doing market research on his audience, building his sales team to 7 figures. And they're probably doing they are doing 7 figures per month, as you can see here. This is actually from peers' stories, highlight stories. Managing his paid ads if they run any paid advertisements, and his whole webinar funnel operation in general. Okay, making sure that everything goes smoothly, all the copywriting as well, right? Of course, like during the webinar, Brez isn't doing this like just off of his tongue. Like he has an actual script and everything's operated and figured out by his growth operator. So now the last thing is, this is exactly what I do. I'm a growth operator or slash consultant partner, where I work with other coaching offers to help them scale to 100K per month. And I do have some testimonials, and there's a video that I filmed going over that. So if you have an info offer, or you're an online coach slash creator, you're doing around 30K per month or more, and you actually want to scale to 100K per month, where I help you with your sales systems, your sales teams, your paid ads, your funnels, your content marketing strategy, to actually help you increase your cash collected, your show rates, your close rates, etc. Just, yeah, DM me operator on Instagram, or DM me scale on Instagram. This is my Instagram right here. And we could just have a chat to see how I can help. It's just going to be me in the DMs, not a setter or a closer or anything like that. We're just going to have a chat, see where you are at right now, and yeah, where you kind of want to be, and see if I can potentially help you, bridge that gap and help you get there. And yeah, I promise you'll leave the call, or you'll leave the conversation with a lot more value than you first came in. Give me a comment if you kind of like these breakdown videos. I don't do this a lot, but I do enjoy making them. And in the next video, I'm probably going to be breaking down the actual webinar that he runs in the next 5 days. So yeah, guys, I'll see you guys on the next one. Peace.